Welcome back to the Automated. So today is our big day, August 5th. We're doing a big relaunch for everything. But before we kind of get in here, I want to introduce very briefly someone special. Here is my son, Ethan Noah, who's very, very excited to be here. He is, he's a big fan. He wants to be on YouTube as well. So here we go. Any few words? Hi. Anything else?
Yeah, it's big.
Okay, off we go. So yes, it is a big day for all of us here at the Automated. It's taken us 3 years to be able to get here. Look, we've been serving daily email newsletters for, more than 3 years. And through that, we've understood a lot of things that we've done well and a lot of things that we haven't done well. And so through that cadence, and sometimes it does take something like 3 years to be able to understand how you really should perform, we've understood a lot of things that we've done. And what we've realized that we've done is we're really great at putting out great content about AI news, technology news, and putting through a framing of that to you as the audience. And so we're focusing on that. And the email is our distribution, but we're focusing on that and that great content here on video, on YouTube and on social media as well. So you can consume that data and that content, whether it's on YouTube or social media or email as well. So this is kind of our big revelation. And because of that, we've done a huge rebranding as well, right? So we've done the huge rebranding on our website. If you see on our newsletter, all brands spanking new. Colors, but also very well aligned across all the different venues. So you've got one experience, one design experience across all those different venues. So it feels like one and the same. Furthermore, this is the brand new studio here in Shenzhen, beautiful Shenzhen. So hopefully you get to enjoy that, and hopefully we can bring kind of different programming as well to you from Shenzhen, something different. Great technologies here, autonomous cars. I want to be in robots. I want to show lots of different things to you as well, since we're based here in Shenzhen and the main studio is here. So hopefully we will show more of that to you as the audience, for you as the audience member as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Please definitely subscribe to us, let other people know. Again, thank you for all the subscribers, 173. We've gained over the last couple of weeks, even though we didn't actually broadcast anything. So very, very good. Looking forward to it. And let's get the broadcast started. Okay, all right, let's do the news of the day. So today we've got actually a few things that we have to show to people. We've got two kind of main big news. The first is essentially, let's make sure we've got all the right. We've got the big news here. So we've got consumers using AI assistants to discover and buy products online skyrocketed by a mind-blowing 200% in a single year, not 50%, not 100%, a full 200%. So this comes from Salesforce's brand new State of Commerce report, which surveyed over 3,000 corporate leaders, nearly 4,700, almost 5,000 active buyers, and analyzed real-time shopping behavior across 1.5 billion consumers worldwide. So the top line is, scaling AI capabilities is officially the #1 strategy for commerce leaders. Businesses are completely over AI pilot. 35% of agentic AI users are actively expanding their operations rather than running proofs of concepts. And a massive 71% of commerce leaders agree that AI is now a core operational engine, while 86% confess that AI tools are driving consumer expectations through the roof. And so ultimately, what we've seen is to keep up with consumer demand, nearly 9 out of 10 commerce professionals agree that AI search will be essential to product discovery within the next year. So what is it saying? Our bottom line is AI shopping isn't an experiment anymore. It's a new standard operating model. Retailers who invest in millions in legacy keyword search are racing to retrofit their architectures. And so winners of the shift were the ones who connect their data pipelines, embrace conversational search, and deliver real human level value. And what does that mean, right? How do I translate this? So basically, people are now searching everything that they want to buy through AI and not through kind of traditional search like Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever you use. Now people search through AI. Now suppose that because of a few things, right? It's just kind of standard behavior. You're used to doing this. It's because it's also personalized as well, right? So oftentimes people actually in AI are a little bit more personal about what they want, what fits them. And so that personalization really helps search and helps tailor search to them. And so, so I think if you're a retailer, someone who sells a shop, you really definitely need to think about your, not your search engine optimization, but your AI optimization. How do you show up in there so that the search results are driven to you from the consumer side? If you don't have this strategy, I know a lot of people that actually are advising this type of thing. I do think it's fairly easy to get started first, to get there. And I'm sure there are ways to optimize and get some juice out of the last 5%. But if you Google around, search around, use AI, you'll find about 95% of the solution right there. And then 5%, you can use a subject matter expert to be able to eke out and tweak out if you so need it. But again, it's important to get a head start, I believe, is to go ahead and get that started. Okay. All right, let's head back to the other news of the day, and we've got Alibaba Qwen. So Alibaba launches Qwen 3.8 Max with 2.4 trillion parameters, and DeepSeek's V4 Flash model becomes the cheapest major AI model to run. And so, right, two major AI models just had a Monday for the history books. So Alibaba unveiled the Qwen 3.8 Max, the firm's largest and most capable model to date, and has a staggering 2.4 trillion parameters. And puts it right behind Moonshot's AI massive Gemini K3, which it sits at 2.8 trillion parameters. So let's see, it has handling context windows up to 1 million tokens at a time. It's the top-ranked Chinese model on the crowdsourced Arena AI. And it's secured the number 2 spot globally, actually, behind specialized Claude Fable 5 variant. Meanwhile, DeepSeek said that it is, let's see, it's cheap. It costs 14 cents per million input tokens and 28 cents per million output tokens, while placing average cost at 3 cents per test. Whilst, let's see, Kimi is 0.86, GPT is 1.86, and Claude Fable 5 is 3.15 per test. So DeepSeek is actually 100 times cheaper to execute than Fable 5. DeepSeek is not a laggard in terms of performance. It scored a 50 out of 100 on Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index. So, we've got our analysis and our kind of views, but I think ultimately this shows that there is competition in the market, right? So, I recommend to anybody, to use different models, right? And so certain models are better for certain things. Certain models are better at handling different things. I'm a big fan of ChatGPT because of what it can give and deliver. Some people prefer Fable, Claude. Some people prefer DeepSeek for different things. There are different use cases, not just in terms of bias and facts, but also just different capabilities as well. And so I think it's really important to try to understand these different models and actually work these different models and see how it fits into your workflow. I don't believe in the whole, China model is this or US model is that. I think they bring different capabilities, and think one should think about it that way and optimize models according to the workflow. These are just tools at the end of the day, and one needs to kind of personalize it and not just have these biases against whatever models it may be. If it works, great. Don't abandon, don't jump to the next model because it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Just see how it works into a workflow. And if it fits, great. If it doesn't, discard and move on to the next one. And which is why, we here at the Automate introduce all these different tools, right? So you can hear what the feedback is before moving on, or even so you can hear feedback and try it before really integrating into your workflow. So I would think of it as that, as a way to integrate these different models into your workflow but as a way to optimize your capability and not to replace or not be ideological about these different tools. Okay, let's move on. I think now we're going to move on to around the AI block. Okay, all right, sounds good. We are here now around the AI block. We've got, first thing we've got is, I believe, this. We have got this. Oh, it is not. So getting the hang of things. So first thing we've got is a fundamental flaw leaves LLMs strikingly vulnerable to attack. Just making sure that we've got everything here. Yes, that's right. MIT Technology Review article. So it makes it easy to trick LLMs into doing things that they shouldn't, such as telling you how to sabotage an aircraft's navigation system. And thank you, actually, Dr. Hunay Kurji, for forwarding this article, and we posted this. Our editors actually had a bit of a kind of thinking about whether we should actually include these things into our article, because we generally don't like to suggest things that things that you can do or run awry with AI, but we included it, and thank you, Dr. Hunay Kurji. We like when our automators and our fans, and actually especially our members, send us articles, because we like to include those as well into our newsletter and into our content. So again, thank you very much. So what is going on here? It is impossible to make a large language model fully secure against hacks because a fundamental flaw in how they work, a team of researchers argue in a paper presented at the International Conference on Machine Learning. This claim has huge implications for the safety of this technology, which is being used in more and more applications, from government military systems to online shopping and healthcare. By taking advantage of this flaw, which concerns how LLMs identify who or what is giving them instructions, the researchers were able to make popular LLMs spit out information they have been trained not to provide, such as how to synthesize cocaine or how to sabotage a commercial aircraft's navigation system. And Charles Yi, an independent researcher and co-author of the ICML paper, says there's a real probability that this is going to be a problem that's fundamentally unsolvable. I'm just going to see if there's anything else. When model makers train LLMs to resist attacks, a lot of it comes down to getting the models to spot when instructions pop up places. Okay, all right. I think what's interesting is this, right? I mean, it goes on further. It's somewhat technical to say whether it's possible or not, but at the end of the day, the TLDR is the fact that it's almost impossible, right? It's almost impossible to defend yourself from these attacks. I think that's what it's really saying. Whether it's like LLMs being able to adopt different roles or not being able to adopt different roles, it's ultimately hard. I don't know what the implication is, right? How does one defend oneself? I've seen more hacking these days than ever before. I've heard of more, one of my portfolio companies was hacked, Google Cloud. I don't even know whether it's a human being. It could be a bot, right? It could be an AI using Google Cloud, finding keys and a backdoor and using Google Cloud credits. So yeah, ultimately it is difficult, and one can't unplug from the internet, but one needs to be extremely careful on how to use the internet, because these LLMs are ultimately quite powerful in my mind. Okay, on to the next article. Let's do, I believe it is screenshot 4. All right, so we've got the how to lock down your AI chat in your, this is the TechCrunch article here. All right, how to lock down your AI chatbot privacy settings now. New guide reveals privacy controls for ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Cloud users. Your conversations with AI chatbots might not be as private as you think. A new practical guide from ZDNet breaks down exactly how to tighten security across these different platforms. Let's see. So by default, major AI platforms store chat histories, and in many cases use these conversations to improve their models. So each platform handles privacy differently, and that's where things get messy. So it goes into different things and shows like what different platforms are doing and different LLMs are doing, and how you can kind of take that out. And then ZDNet Guide walks through each platform step by step, so that this lesson is clear. Users should not. So basically, you can lock down your different ones. Yeah, it doesn't actually get into the article on what that is, but I definitely think it's worth taking a look on this article. It's in an email as well. So you can look into the guide and figure out how to lock down those privacy settings. Like I said, right, this ties into the first idea as well. LLMs are powerful. They can hack. Privacy, you put a lot of your life into this. And now, if you don't turn off these privacy settings, either the LLM can do something, whether you're sharing a password, or whether it's relatively easy to hack. But definitely lock down those settings and just really know what you're putting. Be a little more cognizant about what you're putting on the internet, and a little bit more careful. Okay, on to the next article we go, and I believe that's article 5. Here we have Gemini Spark now has Chrome web browsing capabilities. So Google's AI assistant can use your logged-in accounts and saved passwords to handle tedious web errands. So essentially, it's like using Gemini is basically kind of like this Codex AI agent mode. So now it can integrate with the company's Chrome web browser. And so it can use your credentials and be able to do things such as researching flight options and starting the booking process. It can also be used for scheduling views and requirements and, just those type of things. Okay, all right. So I think that's pretty much it. There's not much else into it. So this is pretty common. I think a lot more people will be able to do that. And, a lot more agents, AI agents will be able to do that and get that stuff going. Thanks, Ethan. Okay. All right, thank you. That's awesome. Later. Oh, yeah. So yes, my son does play. Ethan plays polo, and he's very excited about our relaunch. So yes. So I think on the more capabilities. I think Google getting into it. I've used Gemini quite a lot actually recently. I'm a big fan of it as well. So it integrates very well with Google Search, right? So I'm a big fan of it. And I think there's more and more of these capabilities. There's more and more of these capabilities as well, where you can integrate search and some action on the internet. So that's ultimately a good thing. Okay, next article, I believe it's, all right, here. So we've got these Chinese military researchers are using top US AI models to train defense systems. Now, this is a Reuters article. And Chinese military research distill U.S. models, distilling done to create smaller and more secure versions of a model. Distillation has become a flashpoint in U.S.-China ties. I can't actually go in past the firewall a little bit. So, I'm just going to take a high-level view on this and talk to you a little bit. So ultimately, I think, look, distillation is an issue, right? Distillation is an issue. But on the other hand, I don't have an ideological or moral view on it. I think it happens. I think both sides have done some sort of IP theft, or at least let's say IP borrowing. And so the models, ultimately, we are the beneficiaries of these models as consumers. I think that, there will be stuff like this. This is a trade war. This is international relations between two different countries. And so there will be things like this going on. And so both sides will try to, gain the advantage over the other, right, and try to distill these models. So it's happening. There's nothing one can do about this, right? So I think one should focus on really how one is using these models to their advantage, and let these things and these problems and these issues that are above our pay grades be settled by our leaders and our politicians, right? That's just my personal view on how to treat this and how to compartmentalize these ideas. Okay, all right, that's my son and his son. You want to come in and show your polo mallet?
This is my mallet.
Yeah, you have to go. That's his polo mallet with his initials.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, off we go. All right, we've got our next one. Next news. I think it's screenshot 7. All right, so EU announces new AI rules on AI transparency. EU is always kind of lacking behind. European has announced its new AI transparency rules now in effect and enforceable across the bloc as of August 2nd. Article 50 of the AI Act requires content publishers to mark and label certain types of AI-generated content as well as informing users when they're interacting with an AI chatbot rather than a real person. The new rules require an AI mark if machines assisted in the creation of authentic-looking deepfake content. Must carry an AI-generated label. So it's basically a label. The new law has some teeth with fines up to 50 million or 3% global annual revenue for companies and 750,000 euros for EU institutions, body, and agencies. They are the regulator of AI technology. Okay, interesting. Look, it's what's that popular saying? U.S. leads, Europe regulates, and China scales, right? So look, they're doing their job. I can understand that. Is it enforceable? I don't know, but they're at least leading the way and thinking about how to enforce things. So good on them to be able to do that. Yeah, somebody has to do it, and let's just see where kind of it goes from there. Okay, all right, next article, we are screenshot 8. As computer science enrollment drop, artificial intelligence classes fill up. So with no background in coding, let's see, Faith's mother is suggested she run classes on AI. So hiring is cool for entry-level software developers, but many professors are finding this busier than ever teaching students from a range of majors about artificial intelligence. Okay, all right. So basically, I think it's computer science majors to AI, right? So I don't know. It's my view on majoring is do what you love, kind of do what you want to explore. You will find things. You will find that you will be better at different things. If you want to go to college to just get a job, look, it could be, automated, right, very quickly. And that's just the truth. So definitely do something that you think you have an advantage in, whether it's fashion, whether it's art. Obviously involve and evolve some technology around it as well, so you can actually, that's just the future. But then, yeah, I think do something where you have an advantage, not just because it's in vogue. As you can see, these things can come and go. Computer science was bad, but they just kind of tweaked it into AI, right? So it's essentially the same thing. So what is true is the future is here. The future is going to continue to be present. Focus on the future and study something that's part of the future, right? Whether it's political philosophy and with a futuristic lens, or fashion with a futuristic lens, that's up to you. Okay, all right. Next one. Let's go to screenshot 9. Influencers drop backlash about OpenAI. So again, I guess OpenAI has been doing some sort of influencer campaign. So they've got their first luxury trip. So Summer Club in New York retreat, upstate New York. Creators retreated to farm-to-table dinners and how to better use AI products. And so it was looks like Soho House venue, and then influencer branded. And okay, so it's basically, it seems like it's some sort of creator-led campaign or trip, and how to use OpenAI, kind of a summer camp to use OpenAI. Look, I generally have no inherent problem with it, right? Everybody uses influencers to be able to do certain things, right? So I don't have any problem with it. I think that's fine and dandy, and that's how OpenAI wants to use their marketing strategy, right? So that's not a big deal, really. It is what it is. Just know that when influencers try to sell you something, they're always trying to sell you something. So it is what it is. Just know that, use it as part of the tooling. Okay, last article around the AI block. It should be screenshot A. Oh, that did not come through very well. Okay, so Microsoft pays cash. Let's take a look. Microsoft pays cash, Amazon borrows. Big Tech funds its AI boom. It's probably about how 5 different wallets, 5 different companies use, money to pay, right? So, let's take a look. Microsoft uses cash to pay its AI stuff. Alphabet borrows while sitting on a fortune. That's probably a little bit cheaper. But let's see what they do. Yeah, it borrows. Didn't say how it borrows. Amazon just borrows. It borrows on bonds, so it's debt, which is good. Meta splits the check, lean in debt, but it also seems like it uses BlackRock on some of those things, and Oracle gets customers to pay first. Uses customers' cash to be able to do something. Okay, so pretty interesting, right? How different companies pay its AI way, right? Whether it's a form of equity financing, debt financing, customer financing, which is it's the best form of capital because it's cheap, right? Getting customers to pay. If you have debt financing is the cheapest option other than that, and the equity financing is the most, right? So different companies will use different options to be able to fund their AI expansion, which is pretty interesting. I think that's a pretty interesting to delve into if you're kind of a finance geek like me. So that's pretty cool. Very, very cool thing to think about. Okay, all right. I think this is it for around the AI block section. Let's go to the next section. All right, so now we are in AI tutorials. Today we've got a few things for you. So I think this is, and let's take a look. It saves. All right, so we've got, I did not get the AI tutorials right. Hold on 1 second. Oops. Oh, here we go. AI tutorials. We've got the Microsoft 360 Copilot, security risks on how to protect your data, and then how to create and use Perplexity personal AI chatbot agents. Sorry, still teething issues here. So we talked, I haven't used any of these yet on how to protect your data or look through this particular video, but I definitely think that it's worth it to look into that and use AI to your advantage to protect your data, protect yourself, make sure you're not hacked. Right? We talked about this. I was hacked on my Gmail. I believe that it was AI was utilized to be able to do that. So definitely do that and think about how you can protect yourself as well. Okay, so definitely check out those videos. All right, let's move on to the next section. All right, we are off to the trending tools section, and today we've got 3 tools for you. 3 tools. So the 3 tools are, let's take a look. Oh, sorry. So we've got UX conversion strategist. We've got Moctimer, deploys simulated AI shoppers to navigate your live sites and cover hidden friction points. For the app developers and indie makers, App Icon Kitchen streamlines the entire process of designing and exporting app icons across multiple platforms. That's actually pretty good. By taking a simple text prompt and generating polished icon concepts. And for the video producers and storytellers, Dance. I haven't used it. I've seen some pretty awesome stuff. I think it's pretty good for those that generate AI videos. Brings serious power right to your browser. Lets you transform text, status, images, audio, or 3D mockups into a native 30-second 4K video clip complete with synchronized audio. So cool. Definitely use those tools. Go for a spin. Let us know what you think in the comment section below or reply to our email and let us know how you think about these different tools. All right, let's move on to the next section. All right, so now to the last session, workout of the day, how to plug Perplexity into your Google Chrome for better search experience. So I believe this is our last one. How to plug Perplexity into your Google Chrome for better search experience. Perplexity AI has officially nuked scrolling for answers in the sun. Think of Perplexity as a love child of Google and very nerdy librarian who actually reads the books, reads the entire internet for you in real time, and writes a source-cited summary of the article. So grab the Perplexity AI companion in Chrome Web Store, click the Perplexity icon in your toolbar, click this page and summarize the main points for a 10-year-old and spits out the facts, and it kind of gives you this summary. You can also use it on YouTube as well and get that summary as well. Okay, seems like a very good tool and very easy to use. Generally, I do like these things to summarize, but generally also sometimes I like to read those sources myself as well. So definitely go for a spin. Let us know what you think and let us know in the comment section below what you think about that. Okay, all right, that was our show. Hopefully you enjoyed all the different content that we came with and that we had in this particular broadcast. Again, this is our very first broadcast on August 5th. We've got all these new toys and overlays and, you know, gizmo-doos. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments, feedback, love to hear it. Share it with everybody that you know, and yeah, we're back bigger and better, and see you in the next broadcast. Remember to subscribe and follow if you haven't. Let's get those numbers up, and see you tomorrow.